Thank you, Santa Claus, for coming back. I know that you are too busy with others. The New Year evening is very close.
Although your sandwiches caused me heartburn because of the low-quality oil you used to fry liver and Eastern sausage, I should have to come back because I promised you. You may kindly bring me some cold soda, Limpy.
You are welcome. Soda is not available now, but I will send someone to buy from the grocery shop. Today, I expect you to talk about the sum of the year's digits, SID, depreciation method.
You are right. The sum of the year's digits depreciation method, SID, multiplies not the carrying amount, but the constant depreciable base, which equals assets historical cost minus salvage value, by a declining fraction. It is a declining rate, declining charge method.
In shortcut, Maamoun, how periodic depreciation expense is arrived at under SID depreciation method?
Periodic depreciation expense equals depreciable base multiplied by remaining years of useful life, divided by sum of all years of useful life. Understood?
I understand nothing. I may be able to understand. Would you give me an example?
Okay. Assume that Al-Hag Soso and Sons Company, the competitor of Al-Mualim Ibrahim Sardina at Kabish and El Abnay district, purchased a robot of 5 years useful life, costing $1 million and a salvage value of $100,000. The company applies the SID depreciation method. You are required to calculate depreciation expense over the asset useful life using SID depreciation method.
To tell the truth, it is difficult to answer any question in connection with SID depreciation method.
Limpy, it is not difficult at all. You need to 1. Calculate the asset's depreciable base. 2. Calculate the denominator, which is the bottom number in a fraction or the number below horizontal bar of a fraction. The denominator will be constant over the asset's useful life. 3. Calculate the numerator, which is the part of fraction above the line to be divided by another number below the line called denominator. This will be calculated for each of the 5 useful life years. To apply this to the example above, 1. The asset's depreciable base is $900,000. Being the asset's historical cost of $1 million minus salvage value of $100,000. 2. The denominator of the SID fraction is 15, being the sum of the 5 years digits 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. 3. The numerator is the remaining years of the asset's useful life, which is to be divided by the denominator of 15 for each of the 5 years. In doing so, at year 1, the remaining years of useful life is 5 years. Divided by 15 equals 33.33%. Thus, depreciation expense for year 1 is $300,000, being the depreciable base of $900,000 by 33.33%. The accumulated depreciation is also $300,000, and the assets carrying amount at the end of year 1 is $700,000, being the historical cost of $1 million, minus accumulated depreciation of $300,000. I think you can now calculate the depreciation expense for the remaining 4 years.
Okay. At year 2, the remaining years of the asset's useful life is 4 years, divided by 15 equals 26.67%. Thus, depreciation expense for year 2 is $240,000, being the depreciable base of $900,000 by 26.67%, accumulated depreciation is $540,000, and the assets carrying amount is $460,000. At year 3, the remaining years of the asset's useful life is 3 years, divided by 15 equals 20%. Thus, depreciation expense for year 3 is $180,000, being the depreciable base of $900,000 by 20%, accumulated depreciation is $720,000, and the assets carrying amount is $280,000. In year 4, the remaining years of the asset's useful life is 2 years, divided by 15 equals 13.33%. Thus, depreciation for year 4 is $120,000, being the depreciable base of $900,000 by 13.33%, accumulated depreciation is $840,000, and the assets carrying amount is $160,000. In year 5, the remaining years of the useful life is 1 year, divided by 15 equals 6.67%. Thus, depreciation expense for year 5 is $60,000, being the depreciable base of $900,000 by 6.67%, the accumulated depreciation is $900,000. The asset is fully depreciated and the asset's carrying amount at the end of year 5 is $100,000 represents the salvage value.
You are absolutely correct, LMP. See you as a graduate next year.
CUML. Your soda will be available the next year.